Is there anything to report out of closed session, Ms.
No actions to report this evening.
Thank you. We want to call to order this meeting and take the roll call, please.
Councilmember Hawley,
I'm here.
Councilmember Enscore,
Here.
Councilmember Murray,
Here.
Pro Tem Ania,
Here.
Mayor Gastineau.
Here. And Councilmember Murray will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, the first thing on our agenda tonight is the National Wear Red Day to promote awareness of women and heart disease in conjunction with Xi Sigma Rho, chapter of Beta Sigma Phi, and the Heart Truth program. Do we have representatives? Would you like to come forward? And I will read your acknowledgement. I'll read the acknowledgement and then you can make some comments.
Thank you.
All right. So as certificate of acknowledgement, City of Crescent City, whereas Wear Red Day, February 6th, celebrates the extraordinary progress in women's heart health and recognizes that more needs to be done in Crescent City to safeguard women's health for generations to come. And whereas heart disease is the #1 killer of American women, and whereas many women do not know that heart disease is a woman's problem and they do not take it seriously, and whereas the risk factors for heart disease are smoking, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglyceride levels, overweight, obesity, physical inactivity, metabolic syndrome, diabetes and pre-diabetes, a family history of early heart disease, age history of preeclampsia, and whereas women can take action to protect their heart health and prevent heart disease by taking steps to prevent and control the risk factors for the disease, and whereas keeping women healthy and promoting awareness of women's health issues, including heart disease, is an important responsibility and depends on the actions of many organizations and groups in our community. And whereas the Heart Truth program and its red dress symbol are building awareness of women's heart disease risk and empowering them to reduce their risk and prevent heart disease. And whereas the women of Crescent City, California need to take action to make heart health a priority for themselves and their families, become aware of their risk for heart disease, and take action to their heart health. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Ron Gastineau, do hereby proclaim Friday, February 6, 2015, as National Wear Red Day, and encourage all citizens to work together to promote and improve the health of women and increase awareness and understanding of women and heart disease. Adopted unanimously by the City Council of the City of Crescent City on February 2nd, 2015, Mayor Ron Gastineau.
Thank you. Council, we thank you for this proclamation tonight. You have supported us every year as we have worked on this. Our sorority has been active in this cause since they started it 10 years ago. The good news is that in the 10 years since the American Heart Association discovered that heart disease was the #1 killer of women, it kills more women per year than all cancers together, we've had some good news. One is in the form of lives being saved. In the last 10 years, there are 34% fewer deaths in women of heart disease just because of awareness. And more than 627,000 women's lives have been saved. That being said, heart disease will take the life of 1 in 3 women. That's a woman a moment. And so we do thank you for your help in supporting this issue, and we ask that you tell all of your loved ones to be aware of the risk factors and know that they are different for women than they are for men, and they can go to the American Heart Association's website for all the information they need. We have some pins for you.
Oh, we love pens.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget.
And we do have some flyers for anyone in the audience who would like more information on heart disease in women. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. All right.
I save and I wear my red pin every year, and I wore red especially for you guys tonight. So, and thank you for doing this.
Yes, and don't forget to wear red on Friday, February 6th. Okay, next on our agenda is the consent calendar.
and it's very difficult, to capture, what everybody is doing. We've had a lot of, policies that have come before the council, securing, mainly in our finance department, to, just, the general things that, our police department, the pool are doing on a daily basis. So, staff's busy, we're serving the community well.
Mr. Taylor.
Appreciate the opportunity to talk tonight. Thank you. So we'll talk about the vision, and this is more just, a travel destination, outdoor community. This is the entire vision for the city, and as Mr. Palazzo just kind of touched upon, everything, all the departments are working on is interrelated, and everything we do in the city is really interrelated. Really get the holistic approach of what we're trying to accomplish here for the city. And it brings everything in as far as we're talking about the code enforcement, economic development, all the things that the city is doing, the projects we're pulling forward, and we have some other things to add in. One thing we'd really like to see is promote more events here. And these are pretty simple. They're really simple, basic concepts here. There's not some complicated equations here to get the development going and move the city forward. But promoting more events is huge. It's a big thing. We should have concerts in the park, other types of festivals, that things to bring people here. Increase the numbers of guests and visitors, right? We have this brand new RV park we're putting in. We want people to come. We want people to come fill our hotels. People come stay in our community. They turn around, they spend dollars in our stores. They go to our restaurants. And in turn increases TOT revenue back to the city, which we use for the essential services and things that we provide. So it's pretty cyclical. Shoreline RV Park, again, we've talked to this ad nauseum tonight, so I won't go into too much, but it's an economic driver for our community. It's getting people here, not only to stay in the park, but to stay in our community, spend time, and spend dollars. Beachfront Park, and of course, again, these are things that the city has that we have control of, that we can promote and we can develop. So as you're all familiar with the Beachfront Park Master Plan, and one of the big components of that was the Town Square and Amphitheater component. And again, if we want to promote more programs here, more events, we have to have a decent event center. And the Town Square and Amphitheater will meet that objective for us. So one of the big things we're going to work toward over the next few years is trying to fund this, and we'll look at other ways of doing that. Other, like I said earlier, grant funding isn't always available, so we're looking at other avenues. The Front Street redesign project, all familiar with this, but this ties into the entire, what we're doing down that entrance to town, right? Getting people to come. What's the first impression when they come to our community? We want them to have a good first impression. All right, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. We'd like them to stay. Is the Gateway Arch, it's the entrance to the community. The beach intersection. So unfortunately, these are very high dollar projects, but we're not letting these go, and we're going to continue working forward until we get these components in place. Code enforcement or violation methods, and again, this comes back to holistic approach, right? In order to spur economic development in your community, you have to have a nice community. You have to put your best foot forward. It's increasing property values, it's enhancing the quality of life for all our residents, providing safe and affordable housing for all segments of the population, and bring residents downtown. And so, kind of jumped ahead of myself, but I'll touch on the residential housing part of our code enforcement efforts. Just some quick statistics. Areas with vacant and abandoned properties experience increased criminal activity. That's a broken window theory. If we don't address these issues in our community, they're going to fester. You look at some of these recent projects we've taken on, I mean, some of these properties have allowed to stay in the condition they were in for 12 plus years. It's unacceptable. And properties within 150 feet of vacant and abandoned buildings experience a $7,627 decrease in property value. As a community, we don't want our property values to go down. As a homeowner, you don't want your property values to go down. We want to fix those properties up, because in turn, by going after those properties and fixing them up, it increases everybody's property values. And again, that brings in the revenue back to the city in the form of property taxes. And here's some example. I'll just run through example of residential. This is one we just recently worked on, but here's a before, here's an after. Before, after, before, after, and before.